morning, and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Carson Moore.
And I'm Kelly Kennedy.
RHS is looking to make some major improvements to the way people get snacks at sporting events. We go to Garrett Keenan with more on the story.
The Hanson Field Snack Bar has gone years without any renovations or maintenance, but now Roseville will get an entirely new snack bar for the stadium.
Because they didn't start the construction in June when they were supposed to, and they pushed it back to September, why they didn't just wait until after the football season, since in September is full-on football season.
Volunteers have complained about the spacing and storage, with it being unable to hold an adequate amount of food and being claustrophobic to work inside of.
The new one's going to allow us to work more in an open space without people walking through us and causing issues. It's also going to make us giving orders and just making food in general easier.
On top of that, the building has started to stop working entirely. The wood is rotting, the shelves are falling apart, some lights don't work, there's water damage, and some outlets are no longer functional, making it difficult to effectively work in that environment.
There's quite a few little things that were horrible about the old snack bar. First thing being, if we used one electrical outlet, we could only use one of them. The other one had to be taped off and not used, or we would blow a fuse.
The new snack bar is planned to be implemented in a little under a year and will have a larger work and storage space as well as more bathrooms for both home and away sides. The new snack bar will also add 12 parking spaces.
It's going to be a gate now between the visitors and the home side, whereas my snack bar used to be the divider.
These changes will shorten wait times, add more food, and will increase the parking availability.
Good morning and welcome to this Friday edition of EOTSN. I'm Joseph Bianchini. 2 weeks ago, the Tigers lost in a shootout to Placer. 1 week ago, the Tigers lost in an ugly game against Laguna Creek. Last night, the Tigers said they were over losing and took down Lincoln 40-37. Roseville came in as heavy underdogs considering how good this Lincoln team is. The game looked like it could get ugly as Roseville turned the ball over on its very first offensive possession, but Roseville stayed resilient, outdueling the Zebras in a shootout. Brandon Graydon got in his Duffy, throwing for 150 and 2 touchdowns and running for 148 and 3 touchdowns. Caden Belton played a big role as well, doing it on the ground and through the air. It was a great night for Roseville football all around.
I mean, anybody who was at the Placer game knows that we probably should have won that one, and then obviously we played our worst 4 quarters of football, collectively last week and lost to a good team, but we felt like we were better then, and we learned from it. So we learned from it, and then we came out, we had a good week of practice, and we just focused on the stuff that we needed to work on, the small things, and we did that, and we were 3 points better.
The Tigers start league play at Antelope on Thursday. This week, due to the heat wave and the smoke from the mosquito fire, many sporting events were canceled. These include girls golf matches, girls tennis matches, water polo games, and the Frosh and JV football games against Lincoln.
I mean, obviously it's not the best situation, we all want to play, but at the end of the day, it's not worth risking any of our players' health, so it's just kind of not the best situation.
Luckily, it seems like the heat wave is about over, but the smoke situation is one to look out for. Make sure to check out EOT Sports on Twitter for any potential game cancellations. And real quick, let's see what game action we've got up until Tuesday. Today there is nothing sports-wise, but tomorrow girls volleyball go on the road to take on Folsom. Cross country is also in Folsom that day, and they're participating in the Josh Ruff Memorial Invitational. No Sunday action per the usual, and Monday the only action is girls golf taking on West Park. And that's all on your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Joseph. For the past few years, the Madden game franchise has been trashed by its own community, and for good reason. The gameplay was alright at best, with defensive stops being a prayer while offensive points would flood in. Madden 22 seemed to be the breaking point as users went as far as to boycott the game until Electronic Arts would finally make changes. This year, EA finally listened, fixing longtime bugs that plagued the previous years, toned down strengths of some abilities to make the game more balanced, and overall improves the mechanics of the game. The whole on-field control is much more immersive as they've added a placement passing feature, allowing you to manipulate the placement of your passes much more precisely. The new addition of the hard cut gives a more fluid movement to the ball carrier, as they are able to stop on a dime and take off in the other direction. One of the best improvements made in the game is how much the AI is much more intelligent. Defenders actually play the receivers' routes, receivers are better at selling their routes, and overall it just makes the game feel realistic. The cover athlete of this year's Madden was the late John Madden. Putting him on the cover of this game gave the game very high expectations, and I think they met them with room to improve. EA finally listening to their player base to improve the game will be the turning point for success and genuine connection with the community. In other sports games news, 2K announced NBA 2K23 Dreamer Edition, and the cover athlete, to everyone's surprise, it wasn't an NBA player, but rapper J. Cole. Cole has been a figure in the NBA world, and many people are happy to see him on the cover. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Ethan.
National Honor Society applications opened last Thursday and are open until September 30th. For more information, contact either Ms. Capel or Ms. Fork.
That's it for us today on Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on at eyeofthetigernews.com. We'll see you next time.